My name is Dia Slayton. I am the principal of the beautiful Brims campus of all of the brilliant students at the Bel Air Edison School Elementary campus. And I am excited that you are here today to hear about our reopening on March 1st for our students in grades K through 2, and then on March 15th for our students in grades 3 through 5. Just my team is going to present, but I just want you to know that all of the information that we are presenting, all of the protocols that we are following come directly from city schools. They have, I did not say hold it up yet, Miss P. Miss P is my Vanna White. So city schools has developed a health and safety procedures for us to follow to keep our students and staff members safe, and also to keep our building a safe place for learning and teaching. And that book is called The Standard Operating Procedures. Okay, P. So Ms. P is holding that up now. That information, everything we're following can be found online. We're gonna put the link in the chat for you. So everything, again, we shared today will be coming from that document. Okay, that's like our Bible that we've used to plan for reopening. Again, this meeting will be recorded. They will not be able to see your faces, only the faces of the presenters. So you don't have to worry about that. And again, we're going to monitor the chat. So if you have a question that you are just dying to answer, you really want to know, put it in the chat. If we cannot answer it at the end, we will get back to you. Some things we may not have the answers to. I just want to be transparent from the beginning. But anything we do not have the answer to, we will make sure we get it and we will get back to you. So again, if you have questions during the presentation, put them in the chat. We'll have a little time at the end before we have to hop off to answer questions. Any we can't get to, we will make sure we send those answers out, okay? And now we are going to start our presentation. Ms. Pajardo, our community schools coordinator, will start.
All right, hello everybody. It is great to be here this morning. As Principal Slayton said, we will be recording. Please look at the chat to sign in. They are questions in regards to current and updated information for us. That way we can make sure we're communicating with you. So bear with me one moment while I share my screen. All right. And can everyone see my screen? Hold on, it's loading. Perfect. Can I get some thumbs up that we can see the screen? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Oh. Okay, so prepping for the first day in person, what to wear. You're gonna wanna make sure you wear a face mask, a uniform shirt, athletic pants, and then tennis shoes. What to pack? Go ahead and pack that device with your charger. If it is a school device, please bring it on the first day if you're returning in person. Lunch, if your child does not want to eat school lunch. A water bottle that is easy to open, and we have some pictures later in the slides to show you what that might look like. An extra face mask, just in case the face mask you have drops on the ground or gets dirty, you went to the bathroom and it got wet. And then for our kindergarten and first graders, please bring an extra pair of clothes just in case any accidents happen. So family, yep,
I'm sorry, can I just jump in?
Absolutely.
Again, Ms. P said if you have a school device, if you've been using, or if your child has been using a personal device, their own tablet for learning, you do not have to bring that back. We will have a school device for them to use in school. So again, you do not have to bring personal devices in, only school issued devices. Thank you for letting me interrupt.
Absolutely. And then team, of course, if anybody has any comments, please interrupt. So building the routine right now, practice going to bed earlier if you are coming in person because our arrival time is at 8:50 a.m. Lay out your clothes the night before, pack that backpack, and everyone, you should practice wearing a face mask at home because remember, it should cover the mouth and the nose, okay? So we're covering the mouth and the nose. And we want to practice wearing those friends if you're returning in person. That way All right, and then our dates for in-person learning. K to second grade, you'll be coming back. Sorry about my calendar invite. You'll be coming back in person.
If I'm in the right class.
Oh, No, baby. If your parent is here, you can stay. You
I
are
think
in
she's trying to go to her
your learning center. Go back
yeah.
into your Google Classroom and click on the other link, okay? All right, Munchkin.
Bye, Dynasty.
And then if you are 3rd to 5th grade, we are coming back in person March 15th at 8:50 a.m. All right, are there any questions in the chat so far?
Miss P, why does it say 8:50 if the school day starts at 9 o'clock?
So it says 8:50 because we are going to be doing our screening, and we are going to talk about that later, what that's going to look like. But in order to make sure we have enough time to get you in class on time for your morning meeting, we want to make sure you arrive at 8:50 a.m. All right. So this is our slide for K to 2nd grade. So week of February 22nd, all students are going to remain virtual. So next Monday for the whole week, everyone's still going to remain virtual. At 11:15 a.m., the students will go to lunch. They'll continue learning on the asynchronous platforms like Freckle, Raz Kids, check your Google Classroom for any assignments, and then join us back for the closing circle at 2:45. Then the week of March 1st, again, this is kindergarten to 2nd grade students. Our virtual students, you still log in at 9 a.m. Our in-person students, you will arrive at 8:50 a.m. Dismissal for everyone is going to be 2 p.m. for kindergarten to 2nd grade, and the schedules will be shared via email and in your child's Google Classroom. Okay? The week of March 8th, same procedure. Virtual students log in at 9, in person arrive at 8:50 a.m., dismissal at 2 p.m. And then the week of March 15th and March 22nd, we're still doing the same thing, K to 2nd grade families, except that week, 3rd to 5th grade scholars who opted in for returning in person will be entering the building too. And then everyone, the week of March 29th is going to be spring break. Again, don't feel the need to write any of this down. It will all be shared with you via email. So make sure you sign in so we have that correct email. And then our 3rd to 5th grade scholars, the week of February 22nd and March 1st, you're doing the same exact thing you've been doing all of virtual learning, which is what? Stay at home and log in at 9 a.m. Then the week of March 8th, all students will remain virtual for 3rd to 5th grade at 11:15 a.m. Students, you'll go to lunch and you'll continue working on those asynchronous platforms. So that Freckle, the Google Classroom, the Raz Kids, any of those online sites that your teachers have, gone over with you. The week of March 15th and March 22nd, our 3rd to 5th grade friends, virtual students log in at 9 a.m. In-person students arrive at 8:50 a.m. Dismissal is at what time? That 2 o'clock time. And then of course, these schedules will be posted in your Google Classrooms and shared with your parents via email. And then the week of March 29th is that spring break. Any questions about the layout of these weeks yet? No, I don't see any hands. I see some yeses, that's right. New scheduling, exciting, exciting. Okay, now it's time to get into the nitty gritty, our protocols and procedures. Our schools will adhere to the guidance provided by Baltimore City Public School Systems, city schools, in the Health and Safety Guide, the Standard Operating Procedures, or SOP, which Principal Slayton talked about right here, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, our CDC, related to all health and safety issues. So we are following the what? The SOP, everybody. The SOP is what we are following along with the CDC guidelines. All right. So the need to knows for in-person. Entry is going to look like this. Students arrive at 8:50 a.m. with a face mask, okay? Everyone who is coming to drop off a student, make sure you are also in a face mask. We want to stop the spread of germs, so we are going to wear the face mask, again, covering the mouth and the nose. Kindergarten, you're going to enter at the Early Learning Center. And again, all of these entrances are closest to your child's class. So kindergarten, the Early Learning Center. Except Miss Katz's class, you'll be using the Minnesota entrance, which is door number 7, located in the upper level parking lot. If you aren't aware of where that is, don't worry. On the first day, we'll have some signs, some balloons, so you know where to go. And of course, extra staff around campus to help navigate where you're supposed to go. Our first grade families, you're going to go to the main office entrance. Second, you'll use that Pelham entrance right by the front parking lot. Third grade, you'll also use the main office entrance. Fourth and fifth grade, you're going to use that Chesterfield entrance. For safety, everyone, only the students and staff are going to be allowed in the building. So our goal is to make sure that we keep all of our students and all of our staff, and by default, all of our families safe. And in order to do that, only students and staff will be allowed in the building. Okay, and what's it going to look like? Students arrive at 8:50. You'll stand on a 6-foot apart decal from others. We're going to check your name against the in-person learning list. So if a student shows up without permission, they'll be asked to return home with the parent or guardian present, or they'll be sent to a supervised space where arrangements will be made for them to get picked up. We're going to do a temperature check. If it's above 104 degrees, your temperature, then your child will be sent home. And then we'll be doing the COVID-19 screening questions. So kindergarten and first grade parents, we will ask you to complete that on behalf of your child. That way you can tell us the best information to the answers. And then all staff are also being asked these questions. Are we good in the chat? Any questions? Yes. Go ahead, Dad. You can unmute.
All right. I have a
Yes.
question. I want to know when we're going to stop playing. When is the school system, Baltimore City Public School, going to stop playing with these parents and these students' lives? The reason why I bring that up is because of this. African Americans' symptoms are different from Caucasian American symptoms. 90% of African Americans that catch COVID doesn't have the fever. So you're saying you're going to scan kids for the virus through the fever at the door, when most of us don't get fevers. Most of us are like asymptomatic.
Yes. So Dad, if you could just hold that thought for one moment. On our next slide, we do go over the questions in detail on what that looks like. So give me one moment.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So as this Dad mentioned, right, one of the questions is going to be the temperature check. If it's 104 degrees, well, maybe my child doesn't have a temperature, right? These other questions ask regarding COVID. In the past 14 days, have you had any new onset of any one of the following: a cough, a shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, loss of taste or smell, or at least two of the following? So you see, Dad, we're asking, in addition to the temperature check, these specific questions. We're asking, have you been awaiting a COVID test result due to these symptoms, or been diagnosed with COVID-19, or instructed by your healthcare provider to isolate or quarantine, right? We're asking, have you had close contact? So that's within the 6 feet for longer than 15 minutes, or over a 24-hour period starting from 2 days before the illness onset with anyone diagnosed with COVID-19. So we're asking these questions, right, for parents to answer on behalf of the students, or if the students are a little bit older, for them to answer as well, for us to know, what's going on here. Now you might be saying, okay, well, that's okay. What happens if the answer is yes to some of those questions, right? Bam. If the answer, well, hold on, that's on the next slide. We, at the door, we will have, I'm sorry, I got excited there. At the door, we will have our health screeners. These individuals will be wearing face coverings, the face shield, and disposable gloves. In kindergarten, Mr. Raleigh and myself will be present. In second grade, we have Miss Neely and Mr. JB at the door. In first and third grade, we have Miss Slayton and Miss Williams. In fourth and fifth grade, we have Miss Giddens and Mr. Banks. Additionally, we have Miss Ashton and Miss Middleton on site as well to help with these screenings. Now, student responses. We are updating our BCPS health screening tool within Infinite Campus, okay? It's an extension in Infinite Campus. It tells the screener whether or not the person requesting access will be permitted into the building. So Dad, to ask your question, well, my kid doesn't have a fever maybe, but they might be asymptomatic, but they might have, some of these other underlying issues or concerns, right? If they answer yes to some of those questions, or they answer no, or combination and the such, we're going to input that data on the computer, and then we're going to be given a screen that says, yes, admit it, or no, take precaution, right? If they are failed with the screening, they are going to be asked to go home. So if the parent and guardian is there, they will be asked to leave immediately. We are then going to report that, this student received a negative on their, screening. That'll go to Miss Slayton, designee our nurse or our site lead as well. And then if the student does not have a parent there with them, we're going to take them immediately to the wellness room to await pickup from the parent or guardian, okay? And just so everyone is aware, All of staff will also be asked these questions. And if any of the staff fails a part of the questions, they will not be permitted entry into the building. Our number one goal, families, is to keep everyone as safe as we possibly can. So if you have suggestions on some of the protocols you think might be helpful, or you have other questions, please share with us, right? We're all learning, we are all growing during this, but as Principal Slayton stated, we are using the SOP, right? Which has been shared with every employee in the district. It's been shared with all the leads. This is what we're following, and we're not the only school following this. All city schools are following these guidelines as well. But I can only talk about what BREM's campus is doing, okay? So again, we're adhering to these, and we're going to adhere to any of the related questions and concerns regarding health screening, tracing, and responding to a confirmed COVID-19 or COVID-19-like illness. All right.
And also, we are making sure that when we're in the building, because somebody might slide through, that we're staying apart from each other, that we are making sure everything is clean, making sure our students are washing their hands, that no one is touching. And Ms. P is going to show a picture of a classroom in a few, so you can see that students will be spaced apart and staff will also be spaced from the students.
Thank you, Principal Slayton. So if there is an existing health condition that is on the COVID-19 symptoms list, we will screen for new symptoms and then also refer to our school nurse to ask her some questions if need be. If there was a yes to the health screening questions, we are going to, again, send that child home with their parent, or they are going to immediately report to the wellness room to await pickup. If new symptoms of COVID-19-like illness are occurring during the day, the student will be immediately removed from the class. They will be sent to the wellness room. The parent will be notified, right? And the student will await pickup. Then we'll be providing guidance around social distancing to the families. If a student or staff reports a positive COVID-19 test, these are our steps. We're going to conduct contact tracing. So basically, the individual name other individuals that they've been in close contact with. We will be given the next steps according to the Maryland Department of Health Decision Aid. We are then going to quarantine for 14 days. All staff and students who have been in close contact with said individual will be notified by the BCPS district office. Even if they have no symptoms or they have a negative COVID-19 test done during quarantine, they're still going to be required to quarantine, okay? Are there any questions around those pieces right now? I don't see any hands. No? Okay, all right. So just a friendly but important reminder. If you or your child have symptoms of COVID-like illness, please stay home. If you or your child has been diagnosed with COVID-19, do what? Stay home. If you or your child are awaiting your test results, stay home. And if you or your child have been exposed to someone with symptoms or a confirmed or suspected case, please stay home, okay? Please stay home if you have any of these experiences. I have a parent hand. Go ahead and unmute, Mom.
My question is, if they are all in one class, wouldn't all of them be contaminated if one is contaminated?
So we would take the precautions, Mom, of quarantining, and then we could encourage families to go get a COVID-19 test. However, that would be our steps, and it doesn't necessarily, and anybody on leadership can correct me if I'm wrong with this, but just because one individual does have it, it doesn't necessarily mean every other individual has COVID as well. Is there a likelihood? Of course, because you've been in the same space. However, with the safety precautions we're putting in place, right, we're trying to lower the risk of that occurring. However, we would take the precautions of quarantining. But go ahead, Principal Slayton.
No, that's right. I just want to make sure she understood that we would quarantine everyone in that class or ask them to, yeah.
Is that good, Mom?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. Definitely come with the questions, everybody. All right, once in the building, your child will be escorted to class. All of their belongings will be placed in an individualized bin, and then there will be 2 staff per classroom. So the homeroom teacher, in addition to a paraeducator or another support staff member, and then a member of the leadership or support team will be paired with your child's class. We call this a pod. A pod is a group of classmates, a teacher, paraeducator, and designated staff. They have access to eating lunch together, taking breaks together, playing outside, washing their hands, taking bathroom breaks, all at staggered times to reduce interaction with other pods. So your child is basically going to be, right, with these groups of individuals for the whole day, okay? And that's their pod. We are not going to mix and mingle with other pods, right? And if a teacher, let's say, needs to step away from his or her pod, maybe to use the restroom, the adult covering the class will stand by the doorway at least 6 feet away from students to reduce cross-pod germ spread, okay? All right, so that's the definition of a pod. You might hear that come up a lot when you're talking to other people at other schools or on the news. You might hear the word pod, and this is what pod means. All right, that is a great question about lunch. We are going to come back to it because it looks a little different per each grade level. So just hold that thought, Ms. Crossan. All right. Okay, our safety measures. We are going to be having face masks on. Everyone in the building, every student, every staff member must wear what? A face mask that is covering the mouth and the nose. I cannot say it enough. The mask needs to cover the mouth and the nose. There are different types of face masks, as you are well aware. We have the cloth face mask, which should be laundered between uses, and we have the surgical disposable face masks, which are for single use, okay? So some educators or staff may wear a clear face mask for an allowable amount of time. For example, maybe during phonics, when they're working on like letter sounds, they might be wearing a clear face mask. We also, face shields is another safety measure we will have. The CDC does not recommend face shields as a substitute for cloth face coverings. However, they can be worn in addition to. So you may see your child's teacher in a face mask in addition to a face shield, all right? And parents at home, your child who is, attending virtually, they will still see the teacher in the face mask and face shield. And you may right now even be seeing some staff members practicing, so that way your child can get accustomed and used to hearing them with their mask on and maybe a shield on as well. All right. And then as far as face shields go, it protects the wearer's face from large respiratory droplets from other people, and that's to be cleaned and disinfected after each use. All right. And there's some wonderful pictures of what the appropriate way to wear a face mask looks like. Look at those kids. And then other safety measures we are following are social distancing. So that's staying a minimum of 6 feet apart. In some of our slides and our future slides, you will see our decals that we have to remind everyone we are staying 6 feet apart from each other. We have clear signage posted. So there are floor decals and signs. They're in the entryways, the exits, hallways, bathrooms, classrooms, floors, stairs, you name it, you'll probably look up and see a sign. Well, your child would, or a staff member would, because again, we're not allowing anyone else in the building except students and staff to keep everyone safe. And they're reinforcing social distancing, mask wearing, hand washing, and other requirements that the SOP discusses and the CDC guidelines. We're supporting clear expectations, clear and consistent expectations. So that face mask, we're gonna hold everyone accountable, right? The 6 feet apart, holding everyone accountable, okay? We're going to make sure, family, that we are doing our best. So when you're talking with your children at home, please also remind them, remember, if your face mask drops a little in class, pull that right back up, okay? If somebody's getting too close to me, just kindly remind them 6 feet apart, okay? So we're asking that you also have these conversations at home, that way we're on the same page, because we are a team. Our indoor air quality and ventilation, we do have central heating and air conditioning, and we have the MERV 13 filters. In addition to that, we have our windows that are accessible for opening, and classrooms have been provided with these Honeywell HPA 302 HEPA air purifiers. So these are what the classrooms have available, for air ventilation and filtration, okay? And to the right are just some pictures to show you what these different things look like. All right. Our main office, we have updated our visitor protocol, which you will know in a few slides. We have a plexiglass there, socially distanced lobby area. We have signage, we have an appointment protocol. Hallways and stairs have the 6-foot decals, one-way routes. Elevators are a max of 2 people now. They are regularly disinfected and wiped down. We have signage there as well. Water coolers, so we're back to the water slide. They will not be accessible. So if your child, right, would like to have water, please provide them with a water bottle. That a reusable bottle is probably the easiest. That's easy to open for them and filled. So here's a quick picture. There are many other ones. If you have questions about like what's a good water bottle for my 5-year-old, by all means, please feel free to reach out so we can show, maybe send you a picture of where one's located. But we want to make sure that, you know, your child, if they would like water, to please bring them a reusable water bottle. And if that is a problem for you, again, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. All right, the need to knows. For in-person, when we're building these routines and procedures, we will be having conversations with your children about why is it important, right? What does it look like, sound like, and feel like? And then our staff is committing to the daily communication around the importance of these safety measures, reinforcing these practices, modeling them, and of course, setting the example, okay? So if your child, right, again, runs into the issue of, oh man, my friend's not wearing their mask, encourage them, tell the friend, you know, the teacher though will be there as well, but make sure your child knows to advocate for themselves too. And that they know a friend might tell them, oh no, your mask is falling, pull it up. Or, oh no, you're too close. Remember, 6 feet. We want to have these conversations to make sure everyone is going to be as safe as possible. This is a video about why to wear a mask. We're not going to watch it right now, but this will be in the slide deck provided to you. Our cleaning, you might be wondering, well, how's the building being cleaned, Ms. P? Well, the city schools SOP has a detailed guidelines around cleaning. We are going to, of course, adhere to it because it's what? It is like our holy grail over here. This is the go-to for questions and answers. Promise Keepers is our custodian group. They are increasing the amount of staff they have. They're increasing the cleaning and disinfecting of high point touch areas and surfaces. They are cleaning the building also at the end of each day. That way, you know, we can get a deeper clean there. And then on Wednesdays, the school building will continue to be closed, families. That way a deep clean can occur. Principal Slayton, along with our maintenance crew and Promise Keepers, they meet weekly though to discuss these plans and to review and to go over them. Okay, so cleaning couldn't be in better hands, honestly. We couldn't be in better hands, everyone. And then the classrooms. So as you can see, these are some pictures. On the next slides, we'll have our pictures of our classrooms that Principal Slayton discussed. Our workspaces are 6 feet apart, allowing for approximately 12 to 15 students. Promise Keepers and the leadership have approved of the class layout. So all of the desks in your child's class, all the teacher spaces in your child's class, those are all 6 feet apart. Desk shields are provided in some cases to support extra social distancing. Individual student set of school supplies will be provided. They will remain in the classroom and they will not be shared. So you don't have to worry about that. All of the classrooms will be stocked with hand sanitizer and of course disinfectant wipes in case the teacher, you know, wants to do a little bit extra. Although, like I said, Promise Keepers is going to be in there constantly making sure that the area is clean. They will have access to a sink so that way we can have frequent hand washing. And then if weather permits, we'll have the option to potentially go outside. And here are the pictures of the classrooms. As you can see, we have the decals on the ground. The desks are 6 feet apart. The teacher areas in the front of the room. Hold on, let me go to the next one. In the front of the room have some additional shields around. Principal Slayton, did you want to mention anything else about these photos?
No, I was just going to say that these are actual this is Miss Copeland's 2nd grade classroom. So these are actual classroom from our school. So this is what your check, because since you won't be able to be in the building, we wanted to show you what their classroom looks like. So this is a sample of what the class will look like. And as you can see, the two staff are separated as well from the students in the front of the room.
See right here. Okay. Here's a picture of the hallway to our left. So you can see the arrows, right? One way, one way. Those are also 6 feet apart. And then in the bathroom, we also have signage around the 6 feet apart. Okay.
And reminders to wash your hands are there as well.
Yes, right here. All right. So bathrooms may be a question you may have. So we have arranged bathroom breaks so that students are in the restroom one at a time. Again, pods, right? The signage is displayed to remind the staff and students about social distancing and how to properly wash the hands. You know, they're going to be cleaned hourly. The schedules will be provided and monitored. And then if possible, we're designating which people will have access to which bathroom. So it's not like, you know, if I'm in 5th grade, I'm going to go all the way to the early learning center to use the restroom over there. No, no, no. Okay. So we're going to have the bathrooms designated. Communication.
Ignore the if possible. That's from page 23 in the SOP. We are designating which students go to which restrooms. So you don't have to worry about that, the if possible part. That's already been done.
Thank you. All right, communication. All of the teachers are utilizing Class Dojo, so please make sure you sign up for that. That way your teacher has access to communicating with all of the parents in the classroom. Also, we have robocalls and texts. If you have not signed in, please sign in. We'll drop that again in the chat. Give me one moment. We'll put that in the chat. That way we have the most updated information for you. Miss Ashton is phenomenal with sending those robo emails, those text messages, those calls to remind us about any, you know, important information. And then of course, follow us on social media to get the updated information. Teaching. Teachers will have access to the technology that they need. The supplies, again, the roomers, the students in person will have access to individualized materials, and our Zoomers, our students that are remaining 100% virtual, will have some additional pickup days if you needed to obtain some supplies. Okay, just like how we've been having this whole time during virtual learning, we'll have some days that you'll know when you can come pick up some supplies. Chunking of the lessons, so lessons will be created to offer time for the teacher to chunk for both the roomers and the Zoomers. I mean, an example might be the roomers or the in-person students may be asked to complete an assignment on a piece of paper, while the Zoomers, our virtual students, are utilizing maybe like the whiteboard feature, okay? And then lunch came up earlier. There are pre-designated locations, 1 pod at a time. So our kindergartners will be utilizing the Early Learning Center's movement room. And then our 1st to 5th graders will be utilizing pre-designated areas in the main building. The table spots are 6 feet apart with clear signage. Our expectations is the quiet lunch. That way we are, you know, due to the risk of droplets and airborne particles, increasing without mask wearing, the reason it's going to be the 15 minutes of quiet lunch is to ensure that we're not spreading, right, the germs all around. And then these areas will be cleaned. They'll be disinfected after each pod, in addition to cleaning all of the high touch surface areas. Staff members will be wearing their face shield and a cloth covering in addition to assigned to a pod. And then outside time, recess will be individual play. So we will not be utilizing the playground or any of the other games where social distancing cannot, you know, we can't manage the social distancing. So it will be individual play. And then our protocol again is that the 6 feet apart during this time. Okay. All right, and then visitors. The need to knows for visitors. For the safety, only students and staff are going to be permitted into the building, okay, families? We understand in the past you wanted to come up, you might have wanted to sit in a class, you might have wanted to have an in-person conversation with your child's teacher, or attend an event with your child. However, for the safety right now, only students and staff will be permitted into the building. Appointments are going to be required for meetings and conferences, and all of those will be done virtually. So how you had your parent-teacher conferences in January and they were done virtually either via Zoom or on the phone, that's how we're going to continue moving forward. And then we are going to continue to be a meal site. So Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. meals will be available. We'll have breakfast, lunch, supper, snack, to-go meals. So 2 meals worth, 2 days worth of meals, I should say, can be picked up at a time. And we will not be eating for breakfast. We will not be eating in the classroom. So a good time would be, you know, eat outside maybe or take it home. We encourage, if you have a Zoomer, a virtual student, to come pick up the meal from 8 to 8:30. That way you have time, right, to get back in time for class and then can continue with instruction. Ms. Layton, was there anything you wanted to mention about that?
I was just going to say, because if they pick up breakfast for the kids who are learning virtually, if they pick up breakfast at between 8 to 8:50, then the lunch will also be included because you get lunch and breakfast at the same time.
Yeah,
so they don't have to come back after they pick up breakfast.
Absolutely. So if you have more questions about meal, us being a meal site, please by all means reach out too. All right, and late arrival and early dismissals. Sometimes students arrive late. What does this look like for this coming month? After 9:15 is going to be considered late. So if your child is late, once outside of the main office for 1st to 5th grade or outside of the early learning center for that kindergarten group minus Miss Katz's class, please call the main office. The number is right here and ask for Miss Middleton. State your child's name and grade and please wait. Someone will buzz your child in for them to get screened and attend class, right? Only if they pass our screening procedure. Early dismissals, anytime before 1:30 p.m. So 1:35, nope, gotta wait till the 2 o'clock dismissal time. 1:45, nope, wait till the 2 o'clock dismissal time. Anytime before 1:30, come to the main office to await. Call Miss Middleton at the main office number, state your child's name and grade, and then please wait. So Miss Middleton will contact your child's teacher. Once they get ready, your child will be escorted to you outside, okay? So to avoid disruptions to instruction, please do not contact your child's teacher, just contact the main office. And then Miss Williams, we have the code of conduct.
Good morning. Thanks, Ms. P. Good morning, everyone. So what happens if a student is not following the health and safety protocols? We will be following the district code of conduct. Ms. P, can you put that in the chat? And the code of conduct, it lays out the expectations for student behaviors, and it provides us with responses to a student who has inappropriate actions, or if they have actions that will cause harm. We will be having a mini training camp when the students return in person for the first week. During that training camp, we will share those expectations and we will practice and reinforce them so that students will know exactly how they should be behaving in person. We also have visuals around the building. We have posters, signs, and videos, and we will also host student, staff, and family workshops that will focus on students' expectations. Excuse me. We will be using a tiered approach when providing positive behavior supports. And those tiered approaches are we will have communication with students and families. We will have collaboration with our related service providers. And those people are our school social workers, school counselors, and our school psychology and psychologists. And we will also create individual student plans that will address the specific needs of those students. Next slide, let's see. What happens if a student is an immediate risk? That means a student who's not wearing their mask or they refuses to not stay social distance. We will immediately relocate that student to an authorized place that's away from all other students and staff. We believe, and our goal is that we're going to do everything we can to keep everyone safe, the students, the family, and the staff. So that student will immediately be removed to a designated area. Ms. P, next slide. So what happens if a student is continually not following the health and safety protocol? Suspension is the last resort. And again, we're following the district code of conduct. So we cannot say the first time that a child has to be suspended. We do have to put those things in place that I mentioned before, but the causes that can suspension may be considered if the interventions that we put in place are if they're not successful, they're not working. If a student is repeatedly having unsafe behavior and they're refusing to obey those safety protocols, and if they just show lack of remorse for not obeying those protocols. But administration will be involved in that whole process, and suspensions have to be approved by the district. So just to know that there are steps that we have to take before a student is removed, or even if it's to be considered for them to be suspended, and having them put back in virtual learning is one of those options. Thanks, Ms. P. Any questions relating to the code of conduct?
I don't see anything in the chat yet, Ms. Williams.
Okay.
And I don't see any hands, so thank you so much. Parents, that link is in the chat though for you to get an exact copy of what the code of conduct is. All right, and Principal Slayton.
Okay, so some frequently asked questions. One question that we saw was, will students and staff be required to get COVID tests? At this point, there's no requirement that students or staff be tested prior to coming to school, which is why, again, we do the screening before they enter the building. Can I change my decision for in-person or virtual schooling? Students currently listed as staying virtual, unfortunately, because of space, will not be able to attend in person during March. However, after spring break, we will do a survey, and then if space permits, then if a parent changes their mind and decides they want to have their child learn in person and we have the space, then we'll reevaluate after spring break in April. So, and if you choose in-person learning, but then your child is uncomfortable and you decide, you know what, we're going to stick with virtual, just send a note to your child's teacher or the main office. You can send an email to me letting me know that you changed your mind. That is okay. You'll get your device back and you can continue working virtually. We know that it's not for everybody, but we also know that some students are more successful with in-person learning, which is why we are opening it up to a limited number of students. Do teachers have to get the COVID vaccination? No. However, school staff is in the 1B phase, so it is available to them, but it is not mandatory. It is totally voluntary for all district staff. If they want to get the COVID vaccine, then they can register, but it is not mandatory. Some of our staff have opted to receive the vaccine, and most of them will be most of the ones who are getting the vaccine will have both of their shots by the time we start the school. I apologize, I was trying to look at a chat. Okay, now let's look in the chat. Okay, I don't see, are there any questions before we end? Because this is the last slide, right, P?
Correct.
Okay. And again, if you think of a question later on, you can always call the office, you can email us. We're gonna put the SOP that we mentioned, you can access that online. We're gonna put that link in the chat again. We're gonna put the sign-in sheet in the chat again. And next to your child's name, if you can put in parentheses their shirt size number, excuse me, the shirt size. We want to, those kids who are returning in person are gonna get a special uniform shirt. We wanna make sure we have the right size for them. And then we'll have another parent check-in once we start, either probably right before spring break. Miss Rain. Yeah, that's a great question, Miss Rain. Miss Mealy, Gardner, and Miss Giddens, our community leaders who are our academic folks, are on the call. Will one of you just jump on and unmute and talk about what the academic day will look like as far as teachers teaching simultaneously and what that looks like for students and with the devices at their desk? Are any of the community leaders on the call?
I am here. I'm happy to answer the question.
Perfect.
Sorry for the delay. Good morning, everyone. So some teachers, depending on the grade level, they'll be teaching simultaneously. So that means that the teacher will be delivering instruction at the same time to the students who are learning virtually and those that will be in front of them physically in the classroom. All of the teachers will have a second adult, and we're calling them like a proctor. Some have paras depending on grade levels, but everyone will have a second adult, and that person will help monitor the virtual space. So they'll actually be in front of their device with the kids who are on Zoom, answering questions in the chat, working in breakout rooms, so the teacher can also focus on the kids who are there in person. Students in person are likely not going to be on their devices the entire time. They may still use it to post assignments in Google Classroom or to use their platforms during small group instruction, but most often they'll be looking directly at their teacher. But again, the teacher will still be projecting both the video live and any slides to the students who are working virtually.
Does that answer, Ms. Rain? Or do you have? Perfect, thank you. And we also, like we've been practicing, last week we did a simulation for grades K-2, just so we will know what it looks like and feels like to be a student in that space. Also to make sure that teachers have what they need technology-wise. And then the week before 4th and 5th grade come back, they'll also do 3rd, 4th, and 5th, they'll also do a simulation. Yes, my email address, I sure will.
And then also in the chat, there was a question around uniforms. So our uniform policy has not changed. Kindergarten, 1st grade, they have the yellow athletic shirts or the lime green athletic shirts. 2nd and 3rd grade have the orange or the gray athletic shirts. And then 4th and 5th grade have the blue or the black athletic shirts. I have put in Herman's Discount, that website, and you can shop directly there to grab some uniform shirts. And then the bottoms are just athletic bottoms. So black or gray, you know, sweatpants,
Leggings, sweatpants,
yoga pants, and then the shoes are just tennis shoes.
Yeah. And then because of some students have problems with laces, just to keep everyone safe, if your baby still has challenges tying their shoes, you might want to get Velcro shoes or slide in shoes that don't have to be tied, just so people don't have to touch their laces to try and tie them and things like that, just to keep them safe.
And then there was also a question in regards to any opened before or after care programs in the area. If you would like that information, by all means, please just send a message with your email, so that way we can forward some of those resources to you.
We have a flyer with those. So we can include the flyer with the presentation, right, P?
Yep, absolutely.
Can we attach that? That's a great question. And I have put my email in the chat.
So a question came up, will they be in person but still on a computer?
Yes, the in-person students at sometimes will still use their computers. For example, if your child has music or another specials class, those classes are all virtual because those teachers see so many students. They go outside of that pod that Ms. P mentioned earlier. So Ms. Norris wouldn't be able to see 5 classes like she usually does during the day. So all of her instruction must remain virtual. So that's why those babies still need their computers, even when they're in person.
Okay. Are there any other questions at this time?
Again, if you have questions later, you can always call or email. And then we'll be on again. If you know a family that wasn't able to make it this morning, we'll be on again this evening after the school family council meeting, which starts at 4 o'clock.
Yes, and our next steps are again to update the contact information, which is our sign-in sheet today. So please, please, please take a few moments to fill that out for us. And then next week, be on the lookout for some more information in your email. Okay, if there's
if new equipment. So Ms. Robinson, if your child needs, so we do have some devices that are at the school, they just have to remain there. And then as far as new equipment, just like in the past, if you need something, just let us know and we will order your child what they need or have our team look to see if it can be repaired.
And then the main office number is in the chat too, in case you need that. The device will stay at school. That way we do not, potentially drop any devices or have any damage done. However, if we know, let's say there's a huge blizzard coming, right? And we know about it in advance, we may be sending your child home with the device then. But other than that, if they are returning in person, the expectation is that we will leave the devices in school.
Again, unless you have a personal device, then that device can stay home and we'll have a school device that the child will check out every day.
Okay.
Nope. We'll give them the school supplies they need, and they will stay in school, and they will only be used by them. No sharing. They each have little baskets under their desk because we can't use lockers either. So everything that your child needs will be for them packaged at their desk.
And then as far as the virtual students, if there are some school supplies you might still need, by all means, please contact the main office so we can coordinate a day for pickup for supporting that. Will my child still be able to take the speech class?
Yes, any services that your child receives, they will still receive. As far as if they're virtual or not, we do not know yet. It'll depend on your child, but whoever the service provider is will reach out to you to let you know if it will be virtual or in person. Ms. Espinoza, are you on?
No, she's not at this moment.
But your service provider will reach out to you.
And then there was a question also received about what will Wednesdays look like?
Yeah, so Wednesdays are still virtual. And then students who are the roomers, the ones who are in person, their assignment might look a little different, but the teachers will let you know that when they come back. Well, in-person children have homework. Yes, again, it'll look different per class and per assignment.
Okay. Are there any other questions at this time? Well, we can stick around for a few more moments in case there are. Here's our website, www.afiabaltimore.org. Please follow us on Facebook, Brems Lane Public Charter School, now the Bel Air Edison School, and of course on the gram at B School Community to still get that updated information. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. And Principal Slayton, any closing remarks to let us go?
No, I'm just excited to see so many of you here. Again, we're going to do everything that we can to keep our staff safe, our students safe, and we just appreciate you taking this journey with us, and we're going to be stronger together. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Principal Slayton, and thank you, everybody, for coming out.
Ms. P, there is one more question in the chat.
Okay, yes.
Wednesday.
Yep, so if they are leaving the laptop at school, so Wednesdays may look a little different for those roomers. We are still working out some logistics, but they may be getting, a take-home packet to work on. They might be able to use another device at home. Sometimes a tablet is available at home or a phone. So we will definitely be working on that and communicating that with you all. The entrance for first grade is going to be the main office entrance. All right.
Again, that first week, we'll have folks out directing you to the entrances. And that'll be the first week on March 1st, and then again on March 15th when the 3rd through 5th graders come back.
And remember to wear that mask.